Hey, rise and shine, everyone. It is 6 o'clock here on your Monday morning. Hope you all had a wonderful weekend out there. It was a gloomy weekend.
It was.
For a lot of folks.
And I should have just texted Johnny. I kept looking at my phone app, John. I'm like, the sun says it's coming out at 3. We're going to plan a little family walk.
I had a lot of people actually texting me like, is the sun going to come out? And I was like, 9 a.m. I said, no, it's not coming. If it's foggy at 10 and you don't have a cold front coming through, which we didn't, you're not going to get the sun. Fog always wins out unless you have a reason. Today's our reason. Today's our why. So we're going to have some dense fog still in St. Cloud. Why am I excited? Well, we actually canceled the dense fog advisory in the cities. Now, depending on where you live, you still have it. But we woke up, well, I woke up at like 2 a.m. But I've seen every 20 minutes this number go higher. That means visibility is improving, and we're shifting it. I know if you're waking up this morning in Woodbury, you're like, I can't see anything. But in an hour or two, you will. That area of fog is moving. Eden Prairie, Carver, almost completely clear. That is a great start. That means we could actually talk about some sunshine in your forecast, guys.
John, thanks. Unfortunately, a crash popped up here in the Southwest Metro in Eden Prairie. Good morning. If this is your area, 494, though, this crash is between 62 and County Road 60 at Baker Road. So just a heads up, you see a tow truck is on the scene, so it's going to clear here relatively soon. This is blocking that right shoulder, not causing any slowdowns just yet.
Let's turn to our top story here at 6 a.m. This winter warm up. Like John said, by the time you leave work today, temps will be pushing nearly 45 degrees.
Yeah, the spring-like temperatures are now, though, causing dangerous conditions on the ice. In the last 7 hours, we learned new details about an ice rescue on Lake Minnetonka. South Lake Minnetonka police say officials rescued someone who was riding a four-wheeler. It went through the ice at the end of Clay Cliff Drive at around 7 last night. We're told the dense fog made the rescue efforts even more difficult.
And that's actually the second ice incident on Lake Minnetonka in the past 24 hours. Cece is there this morning with the details. Cece, good morning.
Hi, good morning. Yeah, we've already seen quite a few incidents out on the ice here already this season, as you guys have mentioned. But just yesterday, a side-by-side sunk 25 feet underwater here on Lake Minnetonka after one of the drivers tried to go over an ice heave. And then this morning, on top of that, warm weather is moving in, and officials are urging caution out on the ice. They also want to stress that ice forms differently in every bay. So, there could be areas where there's a small amount of ice, and then in other places there could be a large amount of ice. Either way, though, you should be checking the ice thickness frequently before you go out. And remember, if it's white ice, you need to double the thickness recommendation.
There's no such thing as safe ice. I don't care if there's 3 feet, there's no such thing. Because at any point, it can change. So you really have to know what you're doing and stuff. I mean, if it picks up wind and stuff, I would stay off. There's no fish worth dying for.
Now you can find the DNR's ice thickness guidelines on our website. Coming up in about 30 minutes, we're actually going to hear more from the DNR and some safety tips that they're giving out as this warm weather moves in. Guys.
All right, Cece, thank you. And of course, stay up to date on our forecasts and the weather in our area by downloading our KARE 11 weather app. You can get the radar, weather alerts, and custom forecasts for your neighborhood. You can find it where you get your apps or scan that QR code on your screen.
8 hours from now, Minnesota State Trooper Ryan Londrigan will be in court for the first time since being charged in the death of Ricky Cobb II. This all stems from this deadly traffic stop last July where Londrigan shot and killed Cobb on I-94 in Minneapolis. The Hennepin County Attorney's Office charged him with first-degree assault, second-degree manslaughter, and second-degree unintentional murder. Cobb's family calls the charging decision a first step towards justice.
We want equality. We want justice. We're not asking for the world. We're just asking for what's righteously ours.
The Hennepin County Attorney Mary Moriarty says the shooting was not justified. Meanwhile, Londrigan's attorney says he was protecting himself and his partner from death and/or great bodily harm.
We're expecting more details in the coming days about the victims in a triple homicide in Coon Rapids. The Anoka County Sheriff's Office tells us they've arrested a man in connection with the deaths of 2 men and a woman. Authorities have not released any more information on the victims and whether they knew each other. Police did tell us that 2 young children found inside of the home were unharmed.
We also have new details in the shooting that killed Fargo police officer Jake Wallin and injured 2 others last July. The North Dakota BCI is now done with its investigation. and have now released hundreds of documents and photos related to the case. Authorities say one of those photos shows Mohammed Barakat trying on a tactical vest and putting weapons in a suitcase on the morning of the shooting. Those images came from surveillance cameras he had in his apartment. Another photo that same day shows Barakat visiting a gun range. The North Dakota Attorney General says there was no evidence of political, racial, or religious motivation in the attack.
In the last 24 hours, we've learned Minnesota Congressman Tom Emmer was targeted in a swatting incident. Emmer tweeted that his family was targeted with a prank 911 call on Saturday night. He says luckily no one was home and no one was injured. In his tweet, Emmer thanked the Wright County Sheriff's Office and condemned the incident and others that have recently happened against elected officials. That list now includes presidential candidate Nikki Haley. She says she was also targeted with a fake 911 call. Haley says it happened in December at her home in South Carolina. She wasn't home, but her elderly parents and their caregivers were. Haley's security team, South Carolina State Police, and the FBI are all investigating.
In western Minnesota, Clay County is reporting someone got a hold of sensitive information after a cyber hack. A notice on Clay County's website says the hack happened on its electronic document management system in late October. They say whoever's behind the hack got a hold of names, addresses, social security numbers, and birthdays as well. Clay County says it notified people in December. So as of right now, there's no word of any misuse of that information. The county says it has stepped up security, and anyone affected should keep an eye on their information.
6:06 here on your Monday. It's your last week to take part in the St. Paul Winter Carnival's activities. Despite our lack of winter weather, a lot of people came out to enjoy the festivities over the weekend. Organizers saw people without jackets, some people even wearing flip-flops already. Yep. Ice and snow sculpting were still able to happen with more competitions happening this week. Klondike Kate Arctic Sizzle is Friday, and then Doggy Depot will happen on Saturday. The fun continues, flip-flops and all.
If you're out wearing flip-flops and you see me give you a dirty look, you understand why. With warm weather sticking around, the Lopet Foundation is making some changes to its Luminary and Winter Festival events this weekend. The Luminary will be moved off the ice and onto the shores of Lake of the Isles on Saturday. The Winter Festival course will happen on the man-made snow at Worth Park.
You know, the only thing that would interfere with that is if it just doesn't get cold enough at night to groom the snow, and if we start losing more trail. We're going to do everything we can to put on some spectacular winter events.
You getting much sleep?
No sleep. Not sleeping.
So as for the World Cup cross-country race looming at Worth Park on February 17th, organizers want to make snow, but it's just not cold enough. International course inspectors will visit in the coming weeks to determine if the event can even take place, which would be devastating to so many competitors. So we're going to keep a close eye on that.